The Red Sox are World Series champs. We'll have that story.
And 1 year ago today was the October windstorm.
As much as reading them out to me is helpful.
Thousands of people across the state lost power. Wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour. And seagulls, they're smarter than we think. That's according to one researcher at UNE.
What is it that 90% of us do before bed? And it's not brushing your teeth. We'll have that answer and so much more. Deep questions. This is News Center now.
For the fourth time this century, the Red Sox are World Series champs. Hello, everyone. I'm Lindsay Mills.
Oh, and I'm Lee Goldberg. Check it out. Some sights from the field during last night's big win. All kinds of happy people involved in Red Sox Nation. Steve Pearce won the World Series MVP, had a couple home runs. Sox picking up 5-1, their first World Series title since 2013.
Team members taking to Twitter to celebrate the fourth championship in the last 15 seasons, and so much talk about redemption for pitcher David Pearce.
Yeah, David Price is a man, and you guys at home talking about this as well. Dave McLeod says, what a season, what a series, what a team. And Marvin, Diane, Austin chiming in as well. Great season, fun team to follow this year with that championship. Everything's better when you win it all, right? Much more on the Red Sox big win and why Mainers might care more than others in just a little bit. In other news tonight, independent candidate Alan Caron has dropped out of the race to be Maine's next governor. He's throwing his support behind Democratic candidate Janet Mills.
With his wife by his side, Caron said, "I am writing the final lines in this chapter of my life. We have much more about the impact of his decision coming up at 5:30 and 6 o'clock. And stay right where you are for tonight's final candidate forum. It's part of our Voice of the Voter forums, the U.S. Senate race with incumbent Angus King and independent Republican Eric Brakey and Democrat Zach Ringelstein. That's tonight at 7 o'clock. I'll be taking your questions for the candidates live via social media. Just send them in using the hashtag #MeSenateDebate. We'll take a look at this now. These are some of the images from the October windstorm 1 year ago today. It knocked out power to 560,000 homes and businesses. Wind gusts reached over 70 miles per hour.
We've been asking you to share your memories as we look back on this just awful, catastrophic storm. Join the conversation right now on Facebook and on YouTube. We've been getting your comments throughout the day as people sharing stories. Who's that guy?
That guy.
110 pounds soaking wet. There he is.
He's so tough.
Keith Carson didn't blow away, but I mean, Keith, this was a biblical type storm from a year ago. What do you remember the most out of it?
Well, it was. I was surprised how many power outages we had. I remember that. Ryan and Jess will recall that when it was happening, I thought, oh, these winds are about what I thought would happen, and then the result was not what I thought would happen. But luckily, we didn't have that this weekend, although it was breezy, wasn't it? At times got to about 50 miles an hour. Now still a bunch of upper level junk around the state. And you can see some of this has been really enhanced. And we had a really nasty line of downpours move through southern and central Maine earlier. And this is just really, really heavy rain, a little bit of hail embedded in that because it's cold aloft. And that's rotating now into the mountains where it's mixing in the higher terrain, at least, with some snow. That upper level low keeping temperatures down today into the 40s and 30s. Overnight temperatures, though, won't be overly chilly. We're going to stay in the 30s as opposed to the 20s and even teens that we had late last week. Hour-by-hour forecast shows that area of enhanced precipitation rotating back into the mountains and eventually into northern Maine. By later tonight, these showers should dwindle and we're left with just a couple of snow showers in the mountains here late tonight, early tomorrow morning. Tomorrow, finally some sunshine. Temperatures get to around 50 degrees by the afternoon. It'll seem like a lot nicer of a day than it really is because our weather has just been so terrible really from Saturday on through today. So some sunshine there, and then Wednesday starts nice enough, but there might be some showers in time for the trick-or-treaters. Guys, the week overall, not great. We're looking at about 5 out of 7 days featuring some form of rain. So we'll talk about what those two days might be.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. It is crazy to be thinking that we're having a conversation right now about which World Series championship is your favorite. There was never any, and now all of a sudden we have 4 to choose from.
I remember when we reversed the curse.
Yeah, me too. And all the years we didn't ever win.
Right.
So, all right, which is your favorite Red Sox championship of the last 4? The one we just had, 2018, 2013, 2007, 2004. We want you to vote in our Pulse poll. You can do that by going to the pulse.newscentermaine.com, or there is a Pulse icon on our mobile app. Do you have a favorite one?
I was going to say 2004 because I remember my friends and I, we went to the parade and there was just this excitement that we were a winning team for once. Yeah. How about you?
04 was like a religious experience. I mean, you know, growing up, having never seen them ever win, and going to games with my father, my grandfather, and so that to finally win was awesome. I will tell you this, last night is right there, because for 04, 07, and 13, I was at the World Series. I didn't get to enjoy it with my family, with my kids. Last night I watched it with my kids, and I got to enjoy it and kind of take it in. That was kind of cool too.
The dog wasn't that excited, huh?
No, he fell asleep. So. All right. So before they made millions of dollars, before it cost hundreds of dollars to see them play, and before most people even knew who they were, the core of this year's World Series championship team was right here in Maine.
At Hadlock Field, no less, playing for the Sea Dogs, where you could check them out in person for about $7.
Red Sox Nation spans far and wide, and following yet another World Series title, people in the Pine Tree State had a little extra bounce in their championship step. Maybe that's because 11 of the 25 people on the Red Sox roster once played for the Sea Dogs, and a total of 27 former Portland players chipped in at some point this season.
And, you know, for our fans to be able to see them here, you mentioned Mookie Betts playing second base, probably one of the best second basemen to ever play here. Now he's one of the best right fielders, played center last night. Just to see all those players, you know, develop here and go up there and contribute.
No doubt that guys like Betts and Benintendi and Bradley and Bogarts are special players, but what they're known for off the field is equally impressive.
Just to get to know these guys and see what they can do in the community, giving back to the fans, caring about the communities that they're playing in, you can't ask for anything more.
There's no one more deserving of what he accomplished last night.
One more main connection to this title team is Ryan Flaherty. The Deering High School graduate and 7-year MLB veteran played his college baseball at Vanderbilt, where one of his teammates was none other than David Price.
In the locker room, I mean, I guarantee there's 24 other guys that would say he's the best teammate. And, you know, you can get all the external factors that come along with it, but really that's what matters at the end of the day, and I guarantee that's the way it is there.
And Duck Boat Parade in Beantown will be Wednesday at 11 o'clock in the morning, and News Center will have you covered when it comes to that as well.
All right, sounds good. Time to talk some money now. You already know Maine has one of the oldest populations in the country, one of the fastest growing older populations, and the weekly retirement index by a financial company recently ranked Maine 40th in the country when it comes to people ready to retire.
Yeah, I'm one of them. So if you're thinking about retiring soon, which I am not, this is going to make you a little bit nervous. Or maybe you don't want to think about it at all. Our Verify team is looking at life in the middle class. David Schechter has the truth about retirement planning.
Verify. Fast facts.
Retirement. Do you avoid even thinking about it? What if I told you Americans have $9.3 trillion in retirement savings plans? Now are you feeling the FOMO? So here's today's question. Are you the only one not planning for retirement? And I'm talking to you, Gary. To answer that, I'm looking at research on participation rates in 401k plans, and I'm talking to David Cordell. He's a clinical professor of finance at the Jindal School of Management at the University of Texas at Dallas.
Am I the only one not saving for retirement?
And the answer is no, and it's unfortunate.
The Pew Research Center dug pretty deep on this and found 48% of American workers do not participate in an employer-provided retirement plan like a 401k. That's not great. And it's much worse for part-time workers at 84% without a plan. And now let's look at this by generation. 44% of baby boomers do not save for retirement. 51% of Gen Xers. And come on, millennials, 68% of you have no retirement savings.
Tell a 25-year-old the most important thing for them to do is plan for retirement, and they're not going to hear it.
What'd you say?
Exactly.
Saving for retirement is not a priority for people who are living paycheck to paycheck, but Cordell says you're missing out if your company offers a 401k, and you're double missing out if they offer a match. Match means every time you put in one of your dollars, they put in one of their dollars. Like just giving it to you. Free money. So with a match and $1,000 a year in savings, where can you end up?
If you're 25 years old and you continue to do that until you're 65, the total that you would have would be over $500,000.
So are you the only one not saving for retirement? The answer is no. You're actually in pretty good company. That's the bad news. The good news is you still have time.
Okay, you always have time. Update now to our Pulse poll. Which winning Red Sox team this century is your favorite? 59% of you saying 2004.
Yeah, no surprise there. That one's pretty sentimental since it had been 86 years. If you don't have it already, make sure you download the free mobile app on the App Store or on Google Play. There's a Pulse tab right there. You can click away and we'll keep checking in on that poll. But I'm guessing 04 is going to win this one pretty easily, like the Red Sox beat the Dodgers.
I know, 4
pretty
games.
Easily,
that
right?
was pretty easy.
All right, coming up, unbelievable here. You're going to want to see this. A moment for two Mainers that was decades in the making, a memory they didn't even know they shared until they were part of Honor Flight.
And they love to steal our food every chance they get. We're talking seagulls. We find out, though, if they're smarter than we think. How is everybody? What's going on? What's going on?
Paul says 2013 because that was the Boston Marathon year. I think I can see why people would say 2013. It's also the first time they had won it at home. Since 1918, I believe. They hadn't had a home World Series win. So in 04, it was we were in St. Louis. In 07, we were in Denver. So 13 was the first win in Fenway. So that was pretty special as well.
Jessica picks 2004 because it was the year that she met her significant other.
Oh, that's cool.
Her
the
hubs.
thing about 2004 that made it special for most is the way that they beat the Yankees before the World Series. They were down 3-0, and no team in the history of sports had ever come back from down 3-0 to win 4-3, and they did that, and it was against the Yankees, and then they won the World Series. So that was just like a perfect storm of greatness.
Yeah.
For one magical year. So.
Stephen, we are all over the map today.
Yeah.
All over.
Buckle up, Steven. It's always a bumpy ride. What's up, Big John?
Yeah, Robert,
Yeah,
401k with employer match is an awesome way to save. Sometimes with that, too, you have to set aside a minimum amount to qualify for that match. But yeah. Another interesting thing that I learned about from a financial advisor one time was the 529 plan. It's tax-free, and it goes to basically support your child's college education someday. And yeah, it's
so
called
what happens to the
529.
money if your child doesn't go to college? Like joins the military?
That's
or
a
does
good
something
question.
else,
I know you can take the money out for other reasons, and I believe the penalty isn't, as bad as if you were to borrow from yourself from your 401k.
Yeah.
But that 529 plan is free to set up, and it's usually offered through, I think it's offered through it's federal. Usually May 29th is the awareness day for that, 529.
How would you like to chop this up?
I'll start and say I'll go to Lifetime. Or do you want me to say very first time? Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, got outside today during a break in the rain. It was awesome. Some of our nation's oldest heroes are home after their trip of a lifetime. Nearly 50 Maine veterans spent their weekend visiting the war memorials in Washington, D.C., some visiting for the very first time.
Yeah, our Samantha York was lucky enough to be along with them. And Sam, this must have been just an amazing thing to be a part of.
Yeah, it absolutely was. And it was such a great experience for them. Like you said, many of them had never been to these memorials before. And sadly, this might be the one and only time many of them are able to go. So the group was made up primarily of World War II, Korean and Vietnam vets. They were among hundreds of other veterans that are part of Honor Flight's mission, being brought to our nation's capital and surrounding areas to reconnect, remember, and reflect, usually being greeted by crowds of people thanking them for their service. It was a great time for our heroes and their guardians to share moments and bond, especially on the flight home. They had mail call, which is still a huge part of deployments, waiting to hear from your loved ones by notes and letters. Each vet was given a package full of thank you letters and cards from people not only from around the state, but the world. And I really don't think there was a dry eye on the plane as they read them. So plenty of sweet moments to share with you guys from the trip. This picture here is from right before takeoff, and among them we have at least 3 father-daughter duos that came on the trip, and they said that this was one of the best trips that they've been able to take. It brought them even closer with their dads, and they were able to kind of see those stories come to life. So next we have Norma Merrill. I don't even know where to begin with this woman. She is the sweetest thing in the world. She was a Navy vet. She served in World War II, and her family didn't even know what she did in the service until about 5 years ago. She worked in the Pentagon deciphering codes. Like, she was amazing. And then we have these guys, okay? Frank and Joe. They both served World War II, had never met each other before, found out just by talking they served on the same ship during World War II, and they were a riot.
What, 1945 or 46?
Yep.
See, that's a long time ago. Now I'm a little bit older.
He says that we're both the same age. I'm 29.
How old you say I was?
You said you was 92, I was 29.
You're pulling my old truck now.
Oh my God, they were so funny, and we were trying to get them, to interact with each other about, how exciting it was to meet each other, and they both were just like, nah, yeah, I didn't really think anything of it, like, just typical. But it's nice to point out too that this trip was made possible and for free for these vets by people like you at home who donated through our Honor Flight Maine telethon. And speaking of the telethon, we're going to be raising more money for them coming up next month, November 15th. So please call to donate. It's an amazing cause, an amazing trip. Yeah. And those guys, I mean, I can't even put into words how much it meant to them.
It's life-changing.
And
for their families as well. I've had the opportunity to talk to a lot of veterans who went and their children or grandchildren who accompanied them. And it literally changed their lives to be able to have one chance to get there and to see this stuff. So the telethon is huge. I mean, obviously, Mainers are always so supportive of this. It's a great cause. So good job, Sam. That's a great trip.
Great memories.
All right, speaking of greatness, Red Sox, which is the greatest of all? 2004 is still leading the way, 63%. 2018, fresh in everyone's minds from last night, holding steady in second place, and 13 and 07 are tied. You can keep on voting until the end of our show.
All right, you ready for a different set of numbers?
I'm ready.
Okay, 90% of us do this right before bed every night, and it's not have a snack, it's not counting sheep, brushing our teeth, nope. We find out exactly what it is coming up.
And 91% of people don't like Keith's outfit today. But his forecast is coming up next. Just missed that one.
18 was a good year.
That was just a tad before me.
All right, guys. We're taking a walk to the newsroom.
Full disclosure, your producer wrote that, not me. I didn't see the bump. I actually didn't even see the bump until right before we read it, so that was not my idea, but it was very well done.
Jesse says, what a wonderful trip. Hashtag Honor Flight Maine. John says his...
So great.
Oh, you did?
No, I'm sorry. I said it was so great.
Oh, yeah. John says his dad was a merchant marine. Joe's guessing a good guess. Tracy says 2004 was when her son was born. He's the curse breaker baby.
I have a guess as well, and I don't know the answer to the story.
For the 90% thing?
Yeah, do you know what the answer is?
I know the answer, so I can't participate in this game.
I'm going to guess go to the bathroom. Check your phone. You say check phone?
Okay.
J-Bar says check phone. I think it's go to the bathroom.
Keith, you're such a... You take the fun out of it.
Keith took the fun out of our game. No, I
Oh,
don't know.
you're giving away the answer?
I don't know.
I assumed it was go to the bathroom.
No,
I'm
it's
not
not
right?
that.
Oh, it's
Keith's
not go to
right.
the bathroom. All right.
Keith's right. Obvi. Obvi. My vertical enhancement device. Yeah, so it was kind of dreary out there today. Hey!
Amandola's in the house. What's up?
I mean, I know what you wanted for
Is that because her maiden name sounds like that name?
Yeah, Amanda was too close, and we used Amendola.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like how
You'll be out of here by 8:20, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure you're home. Just want to make sure you're home before kickoff. Huh?
Turnpike police be ready.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, all right. But yeah, this weather was like, ugh, today.
Yeah.
Not good for Monday.
Stand by.
Their squawks are noisy. They make messes all over our cars. And you're going to try to tell me that seagulls are smarter than we think.
Yeah, that's according to Dr. Noah Perlett at the University of New England. In the last 7 years, he has found information to suggest that seagulls are more than trash diggers and sandwich snatchers.
The stigma around gulls is that they eat trash all day. Everything that I've been looking at since 2011 so far suggests that that stigma could not possibly be any more incorrect.
Arguably, no one knows the secret life of seagulls better than Dr. Noah Perlett. The Associate Professor for Environmental Studies at the University of New England is researching the herring gull, the most common gull species in Maine.
They're not eating French fries and pizza and sandwiches. That's a really rare occurrence.
How does he know this? He goes where the gulls go. Dr. Perlett finds nests on Portland rooftops where gulls these days are frequently flocking. He says an important indicator of diet is what the gulls are feeding their chicks.
And so when we pick up the chicks to either weigh them or put bands on their legs, the chicks' first response is often to regurgitate. We then collect those samples, freeze them, and then dissect them to see what's in there.
He says they consume, for the most part, good stuff like fish, crab, shrimp, insects, and the invasive green crab.
That the gulls are probably helping control.
But up on the rooftop is where Dr. Perlett discovers another trend. He says it appears the gulls are choosing to nest here instead of islands where they normally would, because it's safer for them. There's less risk from predators like the black-backed gull. Information collected from a bird's eye view, providing an interesting perspective into the life of a gull.
Can a seagull drive an Uber? No. But the gull can look at our resources and take advantage of our resources. You know, that's clear observation and learned behavior. It's pretty smart.
All right, 9 out of 10 of us are looking at a screen before we hit the hay. For most, it's a TV or a phone.
It's not right.
Yes.
Shouldn't be that way.
I know. That's the 90% of us. That's it.
Not me. I'm in the 10%.
Okay. You say this, but you're pretty quick to respond when I text you. Is
Well,
that just because you're a special alert for me?
It's because I'm not in bed.
Well, right.
Yeah, that's probably the common denominator.
We're both on dad's schedule here,
Yeah.
so
I'm just always awake. So.
Yeah.
The non-parent here, I'm guilty.
Yeah.
You're,
Guilty.
right before you go to bed, you check
Yeah.
it?
Oh, of course.
But you put it on silent after that, right?
No.
You don't?
I would say as soon as I wake up, 100%.
What if there's an
As soon as I wake up, 100%.
If there's an emergency and they call your phone twice in a row within 3 minutes, it will override your
That's
silent
true.
anyways.
That's true.
If you have an iPhone.
Yeah.
But anyways. I digress. All right, rough weekend overall, and we rolled right into Monday with the rain continuing. Upper level low spinning across northern New England, so it's just areas of precipitation. You can see the heaviest, though, is over Maine right now, and some really strong local enhancement of this rain moving into Skowhegan here. And this stuff came down really hard, and there's some hail embedded in it as well, some small hail that has been falling because it's cold just aloft. So this is nasty. On the back end, not much left over, just a couple of showers off to the west. Temperatures right now in the 40s, 30s, and 50s at best. Of course, they were suppressed through the day today with no real reason to change without much in the way of sunshine, just a glimpse over southern and western Maine later in the afternoon. Hour by hour forecast showing you that precipitation wrapping into northern Maine, and then after that it starts to clear out and we see an isolated snow flurry in the mountains, but most of us are dry, temperatures in the mid-30s, so not overly cold, at least for this time of the year. And then tomorrow finally a little bit of sunshine. We'll call it partly cloudy. I don't think it'll be just totally blue through the whole day, but temperatures get to around 50 in the afternoon before dropping back down, and it will be chilly tomorrow night and into Wednesday. Now for Halloween itself, we start with sun. Clouds increase. I think this is a little fast on the showers, but I do think the showers get in there around 5 or 6, which is kind of kid trick-or-treating time, unfortunately. So that will be a shower activity through the evening before it moves out later on in the evening on Wednesday. Check out this cool little graphic, guys. Don't act like you're not impressed by this. Halloween forecast here. 52
the dancing mummy
for the youngins, and then around 7 o'clock some showers, and showers continue around 9 o'clock, and then we just cut it off because it's Maine. No reason to be out past 9, guys. All right, and then wet again on Friday and into Saturday. So what I'm telling you is the pattern is not great through this week, and as I mentioned, guys, 5 out of 7 days feature some form of rain. However, not much in the way of snow, if that makes you feel any better. It's all up into Canada and far northern Maine. So tomorrow's good. Parts of Wednesday are okay. Sunday looks nice. And then we fall back, and the sun sets around 4:27 on Sunday. Lee, is there anything else I can do for you today?
It's a little early for seasonal depression, don't you think? I mean, I feel like we should wait a little bit for that.
If your sense has been that we've been below average for sunshine this fall, that is right. The numbers bear it out that we've been really, really cloudy this year.
I remember you said it was normal to get a lot of rain in November.
Yes, fall.
So are we still, do you think we're still going to get a lot of rain in November?
I think we did that. Fall in general is our rainy season, and it felt like it this year.
It did, okay. All right.
Hey, guess what? More Keith. Hopefully some really good news when we come back. Was that, the viewers want to know if that was Todd dancing in that graphic.
I love the dancing mummy. I love that dancing mummy.
Gutner the Ghoul.
Oh, Sandy says she had a scary ride earlier today from south over the Piscataqua River Bridge. Oh wow, Sandy, you can message us your pictures. Was it weather related?
There was a nice rainbow after.
Oh, there was a rainbow?
Yeah, when I came in, it was like a full rainbow. Like the whole thing was gorgeous.
John, talking about the seagulls, says they eat a lot of green crabs. Stephen
asks a good question.
I will say, Stephen, Dr. Perlett does this because he wants to. This isn't his free time.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, hey, what do you want to do today? Let's go study seagulls?
Well, no, it's funny. He's always been kind of curious about birds, but back in 2011, he was visiting his wife, who works in one of the taller buildings in Portland, and he looked out the window and saw that there was a seagull nest, and he said to his wife, "Why didn't you tell me that this was here?" And she's like, "Because I didn't think it, why would I tell you?" And he's like, "This is fascinating." So then he started studying these seagulls, and to figure out what they're eating, they figure out what the, mama gulls are feeding the chicks, because they're not going to feed them crap. They're not going to feed them French fries and pizza. They're going to feed them the good stuff. And it's true.
But they like French fries.
Yeah, they'll eat it if you throw it out there.
They'll eat it if you have it in your hand.
But they don't
go attack you.
Well, that does happen. But they don't. What they're actively seeking out is shrimp, fish, bait, green crabs.
Did we ever answer why they poop on cars?
No, I don't know that answer.
They just poop everywhere.
Yeah, that just happens. Well, I guess I could answer that from what he said.
Is it still overwhelming 04? Okay.
Basically, Lee.
Lizzie's new passion is seagulls.
I know. Well, it was my mascot in college. The Powergull. The reason why they make a mess of our cars these days is more and more of them are living on rooftops and like rooftops of buildings, and so it gives them prime location for them to do their business over the side.
Rooftops of buildings, though?
Yeah.
Okay. So the rooftops of the buildings.
Yes. Is that what I did?
Underneath.
Is that what I did? Was I talking with my hands?
Of the buildings.
Was I talking with my hands?
You're talking about the rooftops.
That's
of the
why
buildings.
they put little spiky things on some of the edges.
Yeah. Guess what? The owl things though don't work. That's a myth.
You love seeing
Yeah, I do.
All right, Pulse results. 0-4 is your winner. Most
Yes.
people think that was the best of the 4 championships. Speaking of the best.
You like 1918 though. Okay, we're gonna have to go quick on this. There's an article in the Portland Press Herald I thought was interesting. It was about these heat pumps, right? They're really hot here in Maine, but people worry, can they actually work during the winter? And Jess and I go through the process of getting heat pumps. We had 5 different guys in, and they all say different things. Oh, they work in the winter. No, they don't. So let's go to the statistics, shall we? The way heat pumps work is they grab heat from the outside air. It's thermodynamics, a thermodynamic problem. So what this shows you is how efficient is a heat pump? How many BTUs can it put out at any given temperature? And this is where Mainers start to worry, right? 5 degrees, 7 below zero, 25 below zero. And what it tells you is out of a 36,000 BTU system, it's going to operate at 2/3 efficiency at 5 and then down to a 1/3 efficiency at minus 25. So the point is it will still put out heat, but not as efficiently. It's important to note that minus 25, though, is a rare temperature, even in Maine.
Yeah, let's keep it that way.
So these guys are ballparking answers. There's no need to. We can use the science.
The science.
The sciences.
News Center 530, right now.
Coming up next on News Center.
No, you love 1918.
Big year, big year.
Old climate heat pumps.
I was minus 50.